Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is the Ethereum Cat Herders meeting 38. I have shared the agenda in the chat. So let's start with agenda item number 1. It's email account for cat herders. Brent, you would want?
Go ahead. Or did you want me to take it or?
Yeah, please go ahead with the updates.
Yeah, I've got that, Charles. We got that linked up. It turns out we're not using GoDaddy for our registrar, but Charles was able to get it set up, and we got the MX records set up and verified the account with Zoho. And I sent the first email this morning to Pooja from member@ethercatherders.com. So we've got member@ethercatherders.com, and in 3 other possible accounts we could create are admin, support, and help at ethereumcatherders.com. And I wondered, should we create all of those, any more than those? Just wondered what the thoughts were.
What would be the rationale behind each one of those, I suppose? Like, would we need an admin address for?
Typically, most websites, I think a lot of people assume that if there's a problem with that website, they can send an email to admin at whatever that website is. I've done that before, and I think most websites have an admin. And help and support would be basically if anyone wanted some Ether help or Ether support, I would hope they could possibly think. And also on the website, we could put one of those, I think, on the footer of all of the pages of our site, of the Ethereum Cat Herders website, say for support contact or for help contact, help at ethereumcatherders.com. And then we could have at least 1, maybe 2 people listening to each, have those forwarded to 2 people so they can respond to any emails that are received on those. That's just my thought. But
help or contact make the most sense to me. I don't really see a point in having both a help and an info, especially if we write on the site what the preferred address is. But that's
okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, that sounds good. So would contact be better?
I see both help and contact. I mean, it's really just a matter of whatever we'd want, I think.
Yeah.
Or support, maybe.
Yeah, support's on the list that I have. So I have 4 now. With contact, I have admin, support, help, and contact. So if we have contact, or would we need? I don't know if we would need both help and support.
Also true.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't. One thing to consider is for admin, we could use it. We could replace some of the accounts we have, like social media, like the LinkedIn, Twitter, with the actual Cat Herders email. I think for Twitter, at least, you need the website you link to be the same as domain as the email you have to be verified eventually.
Oh, okay.
Aha.
So who has the Twitter, or do we have a Twitter account even?
We do have the Twitter account, but I'm not sure if it is linked with Lane or Charles, because as far as I can see, the Medium account is with Lane. And I know that Medium and Twitter are somehow linked. So I have to go deep down into it, but I'm sure that is not with, or maybe with the Ethereum at the Gmail account we had. I'm not sure. I do not have full access. I just have to tweet deck. So I'll check into it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then, so it sounds like then there's 3 additional, there's admin, support, and contact. And so I guess that's the proposal, that I will create those 3 additional email accounts, and then Pooja is going to look into putting member at ethereumcatherders.com as the contact, or as the
registered
Twitter,
email by the different platforms.
Yeah, including Twitter and other possible platforms. So
do we need like so many emails at this point of time? I mean, that is my question. Like, like we have to log into every account to look if we received any email or not.
That's true. Yeah. So maybe we should just keep member.
a member or whatever. If we don't want to go, I mean, we are not going ahead with member, we can come up with support, or I think support is sounding like good for all of those. Like even if it is for admin support, network support, or community support, or even people who want to contact, they can support. So I find support more, easy going. What do you?
Yeah, that sounds great. So should we just have support for everything then? And just list that on our website and use that? And, or I guess we have member now, so we could have both member and support.
Yeah, but we may not be using it widely. Like everywhere we would be coming up with one email, because so many emails may create confusion. Although I understand if we have utility, we always have an option to come up with different emails.
Yep. Would anyone object to, since I think we have at least 8 emails, to me creating a personal Brent.alsop at Cat Herders? I wouldn't mind having one of those. If and I could always remove that if we ran out of emails or something like that. It would be kind of fun to have a Cat
Double
Herder
check.
email.
I would say double check if you're able to remove. I know on one of the services I use that give me multiple email addresses, you can't remove one once you've made it.
Okay, yeah. If that's the case, then I'll double check that. And so
that being said, I still have no objection, and especially because you're in touch a lot with the EIP over the EIPs and things like that, I could really see value in you having a
that would be fun to be
address.
able to contact people trying to clean up EIPs and using that email address. So yeah.
So I personally have no objection.
Okay.
So, how about like we have created member, and now that we are thinking of coming up with support, so try to come up with support and remove member. If that works, that means the option is flexible, and we can go ahead and remove and create new one at any point of time. And yeah.
Yep, that's kind of what I was thinking of doing, the way excuse me, that I could verify that. But yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll create a support and make sure I can remove member, and if I can, then I'll move forward with creating my own. Otherwise, I'll just work with support, and I can always send email from support to manage the EIPs and stuff like that. So
All right.
okay, yeah, that's all I had for that then. So just a summary for the note taker. We currently have member at ethereumcatherders.com working, and I'm going to set up a support at ethereumcatherders.com and verify that works, and then I'm going to delete member at ethereumcatherders.com to verify that functionality, and if that functionality works, then I will create a brent.alsop at ethereumcatherders.com. And also Pooja is going to verify the other social media accounts and link up and use and set support at ethereumcatherders.com as the email address. Did I get everything right?
Yeah, so good. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Ben.
Yep.
So moving on, the next item on the agenda is emergency communication group.
Should I take this?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, fine. So, I think it was maybe a meeting or two ago, you, Pooja, brought up that there had been some initiative that was starting about maybe creating an emergency communications group, so that in the event of an emergency, there would be a group that had clear guidelines about making communications happen and work out for things. Pooja's assembled a little bit of a team that we haven't really managed to get together yet. Also, this initiative originally came from the EIP-IP initiative, but in the last EIP-IP meeting, they sort of signed off on it. So right now it looks like that trying to form the idea and seeing where we go with it is really a cat herders sort of thing. Since I've been working pretty much alone on this for now, all I've done right now is come up with start really drafting like a protocol that would first define what an emergency is, and then also try to define what would happen during an emergency and what preparations should be made and what provisions should be made in a non-emergency setting. I'm really interested in feedback because I literally just made it up. So, I mean, yeah, Any kind of intelligent feedback would be greatly appreciated. There is someone from QuantStam, the security auditing service, who's supposed to be on the team also. She was originally, I think, even supposed to be by the meeting, but she doesn't seem to have made it. Definitely my personal hope would be that we would get like good actionable advice from people who have familiarity with security and just, you know, trying to create a protocol like this. That being said, it does seem to be like it could be another project under the aegis of the cat herders. So anyone who is interested in being a part of an emergency comms team, I'm not quite at the point where I could like start to throw up a spreadsheet or anything like that, but it is something to maybe bear in mind and think about.
Yeah, I think it was her name Jay? It
Yeah.
was her idea. She said she could possibly help with that. I don't know if she just contacted you or if you contacted her.
I think it was originally her idea. Pooja made a Telegram group, or actually here, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have created a small group with a few people in that, and she's also one of the members. So we are hoping to get a meeting maybe in next week, coming week, like a small discussion based on this document that William has created. It looks good to me to start with, and we also have a small list of people, but Jay had some suggestions which sounded really good about how we should manage those kind of spreadsheet of addresses. I mean, for now, we just have started taking it off, and maybe we may have more updates to come up in the next meeting, but feel free to add more to the document. I mean, I find this document really cool to start with, but yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, please, Brent, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just bumped the mic.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, and like if people have question, comments, and suggestions, feel free to let William, me, or any Jay or anybody else know about it. And if they are interested to be a part of it, that would be really great. And since we are discussing this, I have another thing in mind. Like this is going to be an emergency communication group. What do people think about having a separate email address for this particular activity? Because this is, I mean, this can be handled with support as well, but since it is like highly sensitive, do we have to have something separate, or what do people think here?
I think it's very likely, but I don't think we should do anything until there's actually a group.
Okay, we can wait.
Yeah, that sounds good. And we can start with support, and if we see need for something else, but yeah.
I mean, one of the things I did write in the document is the establishment of redline comms, like just a secure dedicated channel of communication end to end for communicating about emergencies. But again, there need to be a group, there need to be agreement on the protocol. I think we're a long way from being able to say like, we're here, we're ready to go, and we need an email address.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, we can still wait and see how it develops, and based on that we can come up with the email address. Cool. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is how cat herders can help in client diversity. This is related to the previous all core dev meeting, and after the meeting Alexi had a post on the Ethereum Magician. I have added the link to the post in the agenda. And yeah, I mean, we would like to hear thoughts on how we can help the client teams to understand the diversity and the real percentage of the client usage.
So what would that mean for us? Like, what can we do about that?
Right. So, I mean, like I'm not sure. It was Edson's comment in the Telegram about like some suggestions.
So for this, we only really need to do one thing, which is gather metrics from important installations of Ethereum clients. So that would be exchanges, mining pools, etc. So that's two parts. First, we have to gather a list of people, what the important installations are. Second, we have to, like, I guess we would do a questionnaire or survey or just to gather metrics manually until we find an automated solution. We would need to know what the important things that we're gathering are. Like one of them would be what client you're using, but we need, I assume we need more important information than that.
So I had a small discussion with Alexi over this topic, and we kind of like trying to come up with the matrices that we should be looking into. And as you mentioned, the critical installation that can be like pools, wallet, and exchanges. And the important metrics that we should be looking into is like the client name, client version that they are using, because some people do not upgrade, like as the upgrades keep changing, they are delayed. So it's better to get that. And maybe the status, if it is in sync with the latest version or not. If we, I mean, these are the information that we can make it public in form of some percentage, like certain percentage of clients are using GET, certain percentage are using some other version like Besu and others. And if we can also collect some public ID and host related to these critical installations that we are referring to, that would be also helpful, though we don't need to show them publicly. So I was trying to create a sheet in which we can, have the basic information about all these things. Let me just change the setting and then I can share it with you guys. So this talks about like, this is just a rough idea. I'm not sure if it is ready to be shared with community at this point of time, but it's just a thing that I was thinking that internally cat header should be maintaining. This would help us collect various matrices, and yeah, would be very useful for dev teams, client dev teams. I'm referring to mining pool tabs. So I have populated that tab with a little bit of information that I got around the block distribution percentage, like trying to collect who are major shareholders and whose installation we can consider as critical and everything like that. Would you like to invite thoughts on this?
One thing, if we were to make like another Google form, it would create a spreadsheet automatically from the questions you made. Another metric I wanted to possibly add is if the installation has a backup plan in case there's a vulnerability found with their current client. Maybe to at least have them think about, well, if I don't have a backup plan, maybe I should create one, like an archive note or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Another thought might be, I don't know if this seems like maybe a bit too political, but we might want to think about evangelizing non-Geth nodes, like maybe putting in a question, would you consider switching to a non-Geth client? Not even necessarily pushing any harder than that, but seeing if people would be willing to switch to either Nethermind or Besu or anything like that.
That's also an interesting question. I mean, like, we'll not make it a mandatory question, but if people would like to answer that, why not? It's a good piece.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, I would think there should be a very short, like Google form, like maybe 4 or 5 easy to answer, 30-second for the entire survey kind of a thing, based off of what both you and Edson are saying.
Right. Yeah, sure. We can come up with that. The only concern, what I feel at this point of time, the sheet that we have with the, the contacts, that's not updated. And most of the information are general from their website. So my assumption is it can be a little slow. I mean, like, of course, I'll come up with the form by this weekend, and from Monday we can like collect some feedback and everything else. But how can we get the correct contact information? Do people have suggestion on that? Or if they have contacts, can we just start adding it somewhere, and that would be helpful?
This actually sort of overlaps with the emergency comms work. So that was one of the things Jay was saying in the little telegram. she was pretty emphatic that lists like contact lists with big shareholders should be sort of locked down. So I was hoping to hear her talk a little bit more about that. I don't know. I don't know, but we should probably be at least a little bit careful with like if there's important contact information about how much it circulates.
Right. It makes sense that we keep this thing as private as possible. Since the cat herders are doing this, so not going like beyond the close group who are actively involved in that. It would not be a community accessible document. So yeah, that was the thing I was thinking about. Like we might want to get more updated information, or maybe have one sheet that we keep on updating on a regular basis. As somebody suggested, like maybe in a month or 6 months, we should always refresh and do that. We'll add as a task for cat herders, and we'll start doing it from this point onwards, I guess. Yeah, any more question, comments, or thoughts on this topic?
So does the data in that spreadsheet says it comes from miningpoolstats.stream? Does that, is that data stored on the blockchain, or do they know, or do mining pools publish their address or anything like that, and it's linked up that way?
I'm not sure if it is like stored in some kind of blockchain. I'm gonna share the link here on the chat. I just stumbled with this website and found the information that could be used. But if people have more suggestion or have any other website in mind that can provide this kind of information, that would be helpful. Like, and I was also thinking, I'm not sure about it. I was also thinking that this the nodes information is being collected by Ether nodes. So, should we reach out to them to even, get this particular information added to their website? And if they have a way out to collect information, which is like not delayed information, it's reflecting the current status, and we can just provide them the fields that we are looking into, that would also be a way out to get this information available as up to date. What do people think about that?
Yeah.
So let's start filling up the sheet from our end, and I'll try to get the form ready, send it to whoever contacts I have, and collect it from the website. And then if we get some good metrics, we will also reach out to Ethernodes people and see where we can go from there. If we can make this information available there, that would be super helpful. Okay, moving on, the next item is ECH Discord channel. William, if you would like to go ahead with the update for that.
Okay, sure. On the last call, Pooja, I think that was you who brought up maybe migrating from Gitter, like the sort of current Gitter and maybe even Telegram setup, to Discord. Discord just offers easier interface and a more versatile interface in a lot of ways. There wasn't much commenting then, and we are a small group today. There is a Discord that has been set up. Let me see if I can get a link up to it real quickly. I'll see if I can bring that up in the meantime. We've made Pooja opened up a channel already. So we have some functionality there. What we're really waiting for is if no, I'm not going to be able to. Oh wait, yeah, I am. Here we go. Link in the notes. The question is just basically the community opinion, like amongst the cat herders, if they would like to see a migration from Gitter to Telegram. Pooja's asked that at least in the beginning, there should be a bridge between Gitter and also Telegram to the Discord. So I'm going to be trying to work on that over the next week.
So the primary roles that we are thinking here should be of three categories. I mean, proposed are of three categories: members, contributors, and community. Members, I mean, it's just an initial thought. Any kind of feedback is welcome. So for the members who would be, who is having the, who is with the cat herders team for over a year and has the herd token, they will have admin access. That means they can control the entire Discord channel. And the contributor, which has been actively contributing to cat herders task, meeting notes and others, and they will have moderator access. Community, the category that is like silent members or are rare contributors, and they will have read-only access only. So these are the first three roles, although I know that at this point, not many of us have herd token, but we will also look into how to handle that situation. But we are considering people who are over a year and are interested to help and support with the admin role. We can add them as members. And when we are ready with the bridge thing, maybe by next week or before the next meeting, then we can actually share this Discord to public and start using it publicly. And people will have not much issues, because even if they are continuing with their previous channel like Gitter or Telegram, they would be actually, I mean, their messages would actually be, will be received in the Discord channel as well.
I would recommend maybe at some point end of lifing at least the Gitter bridge, just to like sort of force people to migrate eventually. But yeah, I am in agreement.
I like that idea, because even with the bridge between Gitter and the two we have now, it's kind of confusing.
Right, I get that. Sometimes and they are not in sync, and we do not get images, and there are some miscommunications. So yeah, maybe in future we can enforce them to use Discord only. But just to begin with, it's better to have a bridge in between.
Absolutely.
Okay. Moving on, the next item is the cat herders funding, Molokta and ESP. I do not see Hudson here, so we would like to skip this. I will wait for him to show up in next meeting, and then we can continue discussion over there. Item number 6, ECH as a DAO. I would like to skip that as well, unless people have thoughts on it, because we do not have any further communication. I mean, like discussion on this topic since the last meeting. I may not have much update. Do people have anything to say?
I just have a question. What would that mean, or what would an ECH DAO do?
Okay, so what we were thinking initially, like we are a working group, kind of like people are working as a working group and mostly on volunteer thing, but we're trying to give in a shape as DAO, like like whatever major decisions that we are taking, we should be doing it on chain. And Aragon was the chain that Aragon DAO we used earlier when we started in the cat herder group. So we were trying to revive this thing, and all the major decisions should go by voting using that process. So
Got it. Okay, thanks.
The next item, 1559 fee market changes. I don't see Tim on the call, but as far as I know, they have started the testing, test network for this 1559 or other proposals that they are working on. And yeah, I think we should wait for him to provide more updates on it. The next item is discuss and close the ECH GitHub issues and PRs. I am not sure if we have any new issues. No, we don't see any new one. The funding, there is no funding. Welcome, Jay.
Hey, sorry, I'm late. It's to get up for these meetings.
That's all right. I'm glad you can make it. So we are almost at the end of the meeting, but we can go back to the discussion that we were having, and we were hoping that you join us maybe later. We are at agenda number 9 now, discussing about the review of outstanding action item from previous ECH meeting. So before we go ahead and discuss the action items from the previous meeting, I think it would be better to go back and discuss more about the communication group, emergency communication group. William has provided some update on that. So William, if you would not mind recapping it, and then we can bring Jay to up to the speed and she can share her views.
Sure, no problem. So I think you have seen pretty much everything in the Telegram channel that Pooja made, but basically thus far I've thrown together a basic idea of basically a Google Doc where I try to define what an emergency is, how we should provision for such an event, and what should happen during an emergency from a comms team kind of perspective. To be super clear, I made up the whole thing. So I would definitely appreciate some feedback at some point about this. Definitely being that you have a security background and various comments that you've made thus far, I would be interested in trying to figure out in an actionable way how we could have the information that we need in order to start trying to assemble teams that would be available in the event of an emergency. And also feedback from you about maybe what we are missing and what we need to think about that we haven't thought about yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Would love to take a look at that. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going into unknown unknowns here. So I think we can really only speculate on what an event could be, to make sort of a definition that can be inclusive. You know, and as long as we have something to go on, and we have people that are willing to sort of act a little bit while they're sort of not in the know if something was to happen, and they have the resources to be able to make as good a decisions as possible, I think that's all you can really ask.
Okay, and great. Should we try and further coordinate with you about sometime where we could sit down, maybe review what I've come up with so far? How would you like to proceed from here?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. My schedule is pretty wide open generally. I make my own hours, so it's fine. But I am on Pacific time at the moment. Yeah, I guess take a look at your schedule, see what works, and then let's find a time. We can go over it.
Best way to reach you is Telegram?
Yeah. And if you have to, feel free to ping me on my work email or my personal email. Work email is just j@quantstamp.com. Personal is jharrell@gmail.com.
Okay, fine. So I'll reach out to Out of Band and we'll try to coordinate.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think we get a plan. And I don't think it needs to be super heavy too. I think it'd be pretty lightweight. We just need to have people, and we need to have the resources, and some people who know what to do when it occurs. Yeah,
I think so too. I mean, to some degree, my major fear here is just that I really don't know what I'm doing. I just, like I said, sort of sat down and made up a document. So getting feedback from other human beings would be amazing.
For sure, and love to coordinate on that with you as well. And yeah, let's figure that one out.
Great, excellent,
awesome.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, William. I think it would be great to set up a time and have a meeting or discussion, and then we would be good to update the rest of the groups on this topic. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is review the previous meeting action items and decisions made. I'm on the sheet. The first one is Brent will create a list of possible emails. It's done. Brent will contact Charles for email activation. This is also closed. The EIP IP project, at least once in 2 weeks. I guess this is about the project board that we are talking about. Yes, we will have to do that. That's like work in progress. Bring ECH Discord discussion to the next meeting before it is public. We have discussed about it, possibly by next meeting when we are ready with bridges with other channels, we will open it for public to join the Discord. Bring ECH as a DAO to the next meeting. We are shelving it for the next meeting. We hope to see more members to join in so that we can have more discussion on this topic. Continue the discussion on ECH bounty program in the next meeting. I'm not sure we discussed it, but do people have thought on it? How do we want to arrange for bounty programs? That's just a thought that I shared in the previous meeting, but if people have more thoughts. Or maybe we can, yeah, please go ahead, Jay.
I think might have been me. Can you refresh my memory? I just don't remember the conversation.
Okay, so we have received a grant from Malak people, and the grant is for 3 months. And we are hoping to use the fund in a way like we can have more community participation, and we can have some kind of bounty program to involve more people from the community. And I was thinking, like, I was making some, doing some budget for the cat herders for next 3 months, and kind of make some pool for bounty program. And I was wondering what kind of bounty program that we can add that might invite more community participation. It can be related to blogs. It can be related to something that is going on the Ethereum ecosystem, some critical discussion topic or something. So yeah, if people have thoughts on how we can run that.
I think it's not necessarily the thing we do, it's more the way we do it. You know, thinking where there's sort of an inflow of eyes and there's a natural incentive to participate is a great way to get attention on stuff like this. So if there's a way to like turn this bounty for participation into itself, this is just an example, into itself a bounty for, say, an upcoming hack, the same people who did Hack the Money, for example, that's an area with a lot of eyes and a possibility for participation. I don't know that this maps to that, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to get participation through those kinds of mechanisms. So maybe it's paired with an upcoming hack in those chats. That's where to get people interested. And I think there's a lot of people that always want to get involved in Ethereum and they don't know where to start. When, you know, people think that they have to be allowed into places, or, you know, they need to have the right credentials, when really it's just about showing up. And so I think, you know, so a lot of people sort of show up at hackathons. So I think that would be a really good place to start. And then having associated blogs, onboarding stuff, and mechanisms in that sort explaining what the EIP process is, how you can help, and how you actually do have the credentials to help.
Yeah, those are good suggestions. So
Yeah, it's a lot of really cool stuff.
Right. So I mean, like we may not, excuse me, we may not have a very big budget, but that's a good idea. We can start with associating ourselves with one of the hackathon organizers, and we can start from there. And yes, we can come up with a couple of things. The main thing to be discussed here would be the key point around which we would want to have maybe blog, maybe any kind of descriptive informational piece, or hackathon. Might want to come up with that. but this is like, as I mentioned earlier, this is at very early stage. We may have to budget our stuff and see how much money do we allocate for this particular task, and then we can start that. Good to have thoughts there. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, for sure. And if we do go down that path, happy to help be the person to shill in all the chats.
Thank you for
Cool.
that. I'm certainly going to use that. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Moving on, the next decision item was 37.7. It's since we received the grant from Moloch, the ET2 notes will be funded by ECH from July 1. Yes, we have to start, and the first one, I am not sure, it will be coming up this week, and it will start from this week, or I'm not sure. Did we have something 2 weeks back? Anyway, I will look into that. If people have done notes for Ethereum 2.0 implement as call, and if it is done for the month of July, we can reach out to the Ethereum cat herders funding repo and submit the funding request over there. The next,
So Scott isn't doing the ETH 2.0 funding for notes.
up till 30th July only. From 30th June only. From 1st of the July, we are taking it over here. Although I'm not sure if we have the funding of Moloch in our wallet, but since they have allocated it, we have to use it. There may be some delay, but we are hoping to get it from Moloch people, not from the Gitcoin.
Oh, okay.
The next one is the instruction for that. Follow the same process for requesting funds for ETH2 nodes as of the rest of the meetings. We do it for cat herders, EIP, IP, and all core dev. We're going to use the same process for ETH2 as well. 37.9, I think it is related to 1559. Wait for Tim to provide further updates. 37.10, discuss the ERC20 token to be converted into DAI or ETH. I think I've seen it, but I'll still wait for Hudson to respond on that. The action items, number 1 is ECH will create a security emergency group, add volunteers. William is taking lead. William and Jay are doing, already coordinating on that. If people are interested, feel free to reach us, William, Zay, or me, and let us know if you are interested to volunteer for that group. 37.2, William will initiate a document. He has shared the document today. All kind of feedbacks are welcome. 37.3, Pooja to create an admission post for Muir Glacier upgrade post-mortem report. And yeah, on this Muir Glacier thing, I think I have created a pull request yesterday, and I have received some comment. I'm gonna just share the link here. So the response that I received here was like, these type of things should not be a part of EIP repository. So I'm not sure, although we have discussed this in the EIP-IP meeting, and that's how we proceeded towards submitting this pull request to the EIP repository. If people have thoughts on it or would want to respond to the comment to the response that is received, feel free to do that. And same is there for the another pull request that is created for the network upgrade template. I'm sharing the link here again. I'm yet to create the exposition post for Muir Glacier. I was hoping to get a PR EIP number from this PR to add it and create this one. But I think I have to wait for the editors to make their decision to merge it or discuss it further. The last action required is Pooja to create rules and other channels for ECH Discord. Yes, I have discussed the rules today, and we have kind of implemented it in ECH Discord. As soon as we are ready with bridges, we should be ready to open Discord for the public usage. And yeah, we are almost at the end of the meeting. Do people have any other topic to discuss, any other business? I think I have one. I remember mentioning this about the women in Ethereum thing, women in Ethereum space. The cat herders are helping with them, the Ethereum summer camp team, to organize this event. And I was hoping to, live stream with the help of Cat Herders YouTube. We are having great speakers there, and it's all about Ethereum space and the women working in the space. So does anybody has any strong objection or any other thought, like we shouldn't or we should?
I'm all for it.
Yeah, all for it.
Sounds great.
I'm hoping to take out. Jay is also speaking. I'm glad that you joined us today.
Happy to. Is it, I guess I just wanted a little more information. Is it more of a panel, or is it I need to have a talk ready?
I will update you on those parts after this call. I'll just
Okay, perfect.
details of it. I also have asked the organizer to send you the confirmed schedule, and yes, I'll update you.
Perfect. Okay. Also, I'm looking in the ECH chat. I'm not seeing that doc to review. I do see the spreadsheet. Is that what I'm to review?
I think it is in the communication channel, and we also shared in the link today in the Zoom chat.
I just put it in the chat again. Over
Okay,
here.
perfect. Okay.
Okay, so that's it for today. If anybody has anything else to discuss.
That's I guess that's all on my, well, I'm still kind of learning this whole EIP process stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, great to have you. I mean, you're a good addition coming from a background of security audit, and we all know font stamp. So we are very happy to have you as another member of Cat Herders. Glad that you're
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
So I think that's it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
We're happy to have you on board.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you. I'm still trying to find ways of where I can pitch in, but I do feel that, yeah, the emergency comms is genuinely important.
Yeah.
Great. So I think that's about it for us, yeah?
Yes, that's all about today's meeting. Thank you all for joining us today, and I hope to see you again in 2 weeks from now. The next meeting is on August 4th at 1400 UTC. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Pooja. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Bridget.
you. Have a good one.